Oh, all right. Hello, everybody. All right, and welcome to our District 2 Charter Mandated meeting. Thank you all for coming out this evening. We are going to start off with thanking our host this evening. Reverend Esther is here in this incredibly beautiful New Prospect Church, so we want to thank you so much for hosting us, and if we allow you to come up and give a few words. Thank you.
Good evening to everyone. God bless you on this wonderful evening. To Mayor Duggan, to Deputy Mayor Howard, and to all of our elected and appointed officials, and to you, the members and families of District 2, we just want to welcome you to New Prospect on tonight. We thank you for having us, for allowing us to be your station for the meeting on tonight. We just ask that in every situation that you remember where you are. We're in the house of the Lord. Let's treat it as such. And we pray God's blessing over the meeting tonight. Amen. So with that, I'll have a word of prayer. Eternal God, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for all of the people who are gathered here tonight with their concerns, with situations, and with whatever is going on in their lives, who live in District 2, that are looking for answers for improvement as we move forward in this community. Now bless this time together. May we talk to one another and not at one another. And may we be a blessing to one another this evening. In Jesus' name we pray and say thank you. Amen.
Well, thank you. So with that, I'd like to introduce our team here at District 2. Myself again, I'm Kim Tandy. I'm your District 2 manager. Sean Davis, who is your deputy manager, and Miss Tanisha Turner, who is your District 2 business liaison. And then I'd like to introduce to you some of our incredible MPOs. We have great MPOs here in District 2. We have 3 different precincts. We have the 2nd precinct, the 8th precinct. We have 4 precincts, actually. The 8th precinct, the 10th precinct, and most of our district in the 12th precinct. And we have incredible MPOs. Let's give them a hand. And our captains and sergeants and everybody that's been working with us in our district to keep it safe here. And so today we're going to do something a little bit different because of some of the things that have happened. So today we are going to have, we're still live and we're on Zoom, and we are going to still have questions from those of you that are on Zoom. However, we're going to do it a little bit differently. So right now all of our participants on Zoom are going to be muted. And we're going to ask you to submit your questions via chat. So we're going to go host to host in chat, so you can put your questions in the chat. Those questions, when you have those questions, we need to make sure that you have your name, your district, and your neighborhood in that chat. In that question, you submit the question, and then someone here, Mr. Joshua Roberson, which is our District 5 manager, is going to read those questions, and then we will answer them from there. So please keep your questions clear and concise. So that we can read those. So with that, I want to introduce our incredible mayor, Mr. Mike Duggan. Thank you.
All right, how's everybody doing tonight? Well, it's good to see everybody. I'm operating on about 3 hours sleep. Looking at some of you, a few of you are the same way. We had some good results last night and some not so good results, but we went out and worked hard. But unlike in Washington, D.C. and in Lansing, where the politics is defined by toxicity and hostility, you've had city leadership where the mayor and the council have worked together. And while we have disagreements, you don't see the kind of awful name-calling and behavior. And in that spirit, I want to introduce my partner, your city council member, Angela Calloway.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Mayor Duggan. And I shall not forget where I am, in the house of the Lord. New Prospect Missionary Baptist Church. I had the honor of being here 2 weeks ago and present this, the pastor and the first lady and the church and all of his congregants, a 75th anniversary Spirit of Detroit Award. I'm sorry, 100th But did I get the number right on the resolution? I mean, okay, so I'm just saying it wrong tonight, but I did get it right in the black and white. Okay, so we want to wish you another happiest 100th anniversary. And thank you for being here and not moving. Thank you.
Okay, so we are going to take questions. If you want to know what, those of you who were here realize that the Zoom option, which we put in during COVID, in the last meeting, we found that people who can phone in anonymously have the ability to do the most vile racial slurs, swearing, and the like, and we have no way of filtering them except by shutting them off. So we've refined the process so that the questions coming in over the internet or by phone, you just type up, because I'm not going to subject this community to that kind of behavior, certainly by people trying to disrupt our meeting. Okay, and so we have one over there too, right? So we got two microphones. You line up, tell us your name, what neighborhood you are from. If you got a question, we'll answer the questions. If you just want to talk, you're going to have 60 seconds. So go ahead. Tell us your name, what neighborhood you're from.
I didn't understand. What did you say? Oh, my name is Martha Austin. I live at 20164 San Juan Drive. My issue is the vacant house that's next to me.
Okay.
This house has been sold 4 times. 2 times it was on a demolition. Now the house is falling apart.
Who owns it today? Do you know?
Right now, I think it's been sold, they told me, in a bundle of houses. Before it was that Wayne County Treasurer had it. Okay. My block club president, she showed me a paper where this house has been sold in a bundle of like 700 maybe houses. Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out why is this house keep being sold.
You and I want to find out together.
I just know that it was in the bundle for county. So it went to the county because it foreclosed. And so the county actually sold it with 120 other properties in a bundle. So we don't have it.
The only one that buys the bundle is us. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, who? Have you got the ability to look it up?
I can go speak with her.
Okay, we're going to figure this out together. So this is Chelsea Neblett. She's in charge of making sure this doesn't happen. But we need to get the address of the vacant house, and we're going to look up the ownership now, and we're going to figure it out. And 2 rows behind Chelsea is Rob Shinsky. And if we have an ongoing problem with the house, he brings the A-team. But if we drove by and looked at it right now, what does it look like?
Oh, it's falling apart.
And is it clear boarded? Is it boarded? Is it open?
Back part of the house is open.
Is it covered with plywood or the plastic clipboard? Really? Okay. Uh-huh.
Want to go on the porch because the porch is
Is
rotting
Tammy
away
here?
so fast.
Can you
This
tell us,
is
is that your house, Tammy?
This has been a while. You know the address? Yeah, 20154.
That's the address of the vacant house?
It's right next to me.
20154, Tammy? We got the.
I'm going to look it up.
This house has been like this for going on 10 years.
Okay, so the head of the land bank is here. We're going to solve the mystery of who owns the property. And between Tammy and Chelsea and Rob, we are going to get that thing sealed up and we'll get it taken care of. All right? Okay, let's try the internet. Do we have a question? We don't have one. All right. Go ahead. Tell us your name, what neighborhood you're from.
I'm Rochella Stewart, Detroit People's Platform. I'm District 7. Here tonight, you know, DDOT need to fix that on-time service. That 66 to 70% is just unacceptable. Kids coming out of practices and stuff, getting home at 10 o'clock at night. You know, yourself, we done had ride-alongs, Cunningham, all us advocates here, and everybody is getting the same thing. You know, people are losing jobs from not having on-time service. This is something that the city should give us residents. We need it badly. You know, I'm tired of hearing it. You know, I come to you all the time asking for money. We're gonna come this year asking for money. DDOT needs at least $2 million to get it right. I mean, they need $200 million. We need good buses. We need good people that's running DDOT. Your schedulers, your mechanics, Your dispatchers and your drivers need a decent wage. We can't keep doing this. You got to try to run it like a business because we do not have what we need to have an efficient service here in this city.
Yep, I agree with you. So as those who have been here before know, 1 year ago, we put 135 buses on the street. This week, we've got 175 buses on the street. In January, we're going to have 185 buses on the street. The issue is purely the outdated buses that are getting overhauled for repair. So as fast as we get them repaired, we're putting the buses on the street, and it's not where it needs to be, but it's better than it was a year ago. It'll be better again in January. And then in the second half of next year, Michael, how many new buses do we have coming in? 45 new buses are coming in starting in June. In the second half of next year, we will have the kind of fleet we want, and we'll be over 200 buses a day, more to the level of service we want. But it's not a question of money right now. It's a question of physically getting the buses. Go ahead. Tell us your name, what neighborhood you're from.
Brother Cunningham, I'm in District 1 now, was in District 2. The Honorable Councilwoman gave me a Spirit of Detroit Award. I appreciate you for that. Okay, so I run a taxi service and I outreach out of that, hand warmers, gloves, bus tickets, and I'm just getting, the Linwood is slow. The different buses, 68% is just not good enough. Now, you were very creative years ago with Biden, and when you had got the buses in and you piggybacked on other people's orders. Is there any way you can plead with this president? He's out in January. Anything creative, aggressive you could do in regards
to? The feds gave us the money. The order is in. They're building our buses. But what happened, and this is just the truth of what happened in the country, is all across America, 2020, 2021, when nobody's riding the buses, the bus companies across the country stopped ordering them. And then COVID cleared up, and everybody put their orders in. And so you only have a couple of bus manufacturers for this country who all have orders going in at the same time. So ours are going to start arriving in June. The order's in for the 45. And there is nothing, I can say any words you want, there is nothing I can do to get the buses here any earlier than next summer. What we're trying to do is take some buses that have needed a whole lot of work, and we're overhauling them. We're getting back out on the street as fast as we can.
I used to meet with Dan Dirks maybe every 4 or 5 months. I haven't talked to him in a minute, but he talked about warming coaches because it's going to get snowy, cold out, like buses that are maybe not be able to drive, but they got heat on them. And so like St. John Hospital over there, maybe a warming coaches. I don't know if that's something that can be done when it gets really, really cold and there's lots of snow, because folks, 68% of the time, if your car ran like that, you'd be in trouble, fired, etc. And then also for Ms. Vicky, the picture with Mr. Bettison, I was trying to get a hold of that picture.
All right. Vicky will take care of you. Okay, go ahead. Tell us your name, what neighborhood you're from.
All right, good evening, Mayor. Bernard Mashunsky. I live in Cass Quarter, Midtown. I got a different statement. So on the winter of 2023 in D.C., I went to Washington, D.C. I'm not a lobbyist. I'm a citizen. I talked to our Detroit delegation, to Rashida, and also to Tanadar. Excuse my cadence. I'm very tired. We spoke about a bill that we're promoting through Congress called it's an operations bill for funding at the federal level. They have never done this. They usually fund capital.
Funding for?
Operations funding for the buses,
for
all
yeah.
public transportation.
Yeah.
So our delegation is in support. Most of Michigan's delegation is in support, but now that we have lost the federal government, I do have a sincere question. Do you have a contingency in case federal funding due to Project 2025 is going to cut public transit from the federal government? Do we have enough cushion at Detroit financially to weather that storm if it comes?
Again, we're going to see what happens at the federal level, and they conceivably could cut housing, they could cut bus, they could cut homeless services. There's any number of federal programs that could get cut, and we're going to defend as best we can. And so we've lived through, in 4 years with Donald Trump as president, we got through it. The first time we were surprised, this time we're prepared. And but we're going to make our feelings known. But you heard him during the campaign. He promised that if he were the president, Detroit, the crime's going to go down, the jobs are all going to come. So we'll see how he does. Go ahead.
How you doing, Mr. Mayor?
Good.
This is Don Johnson from 12th Precinct Community Relations. I'm coming by because I know I've called you so many times, and then Kim Tandy and Sean took over, and I've been calling them all the time. So I was hoping to get some more people, because I get a lot of people calling me about different issues they have in the community. The number one issue, though, is we need more police officers.
Yeah.
And with the state still having the control with the Senate, House, and the congressional people, why aren't we ordering more police officers?
So we are. We have 300 more officers than we had 2 years ago once we did that $10,000 raise.
Right.
We've got more than 150 in the police academy right now.
Good.
And we expect to have 100 more on the street early next year.
Okay.
We also have a bill in Lansing with a whole lot of folks here worked hard, and the state of Michigan passed something that I and the other mayors put together that's called the Public Safety Trust Fund. It's $100 million for the cities that have the highest violence. We get $18 million a year. They appropriated the money. There's a bill that has to implement it, and it is through the House and sitting in the Senate right now. And so I would encourage anybody here, who's your senator? Your state-
Jeremy Moss. Yeah.
Jeremy Moss. There's a good one to call.
Yeah, he's a good
You
one.
ought to call Jeremy Moss.
Don't call Kim and Sean.
No, you call Jeremy Moss and ask him if he can get that Public Safety Trust Fund bill up for a vote in the Senate. He'd be a great one to get going on
promise
this.
you I will give
And
him a
you do
call.
that, and I will put more cops on the street.
Thank you.
All right.
Mayor.
Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
we have one on.
Oh, we got a question online. Go ahead.
Yes,
Tell us
yes,
who it
sir.
is and where they live.
This gentleman's name is Charles Bardell. He's from District 2 in the State Fair neighborhood. He says, if the Inflation Reduction Act is clawed back in January by Trump, will the solar neighborhood project be canceled, or is there an alternate funding?
Yeah. So this is why City Council, this is why it's great to have a relationship. So the only reason the solar fields worked is because Congress passed the Inflation Reduction Act that gives us a 30% credit for building this. It wasn't cost effective before. But we went to City Council and said, we aren't sure what's going to happen on this election, and a future Congress could repeal this tax break. But once you started the project, you got the tax break, they can't repeal it. And so City Council put it through, and so the State Fair project is in good shape, as are the other two that have been approved. We will be, if Tricia Stein gets her job done, sending to City Council the two final sites in the coming weeks, because we are going to need to get them approved before January 20th, just in case. All right, go ahead. Who's next?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. My name is Kathy Bledsoe. I'm from District 2, Martin Park Association. And first of all, I want to give a shout out to Kim Tandy and Sean Davis. Thank you. You guys are just priceless. NPO Powell, we love having you back. Thank you. Love you. And for Councilwoman Angela Whitfield Callaway, thank you. And thank you to your staff, especially Jerry Perrette. Mr. Mayor, we have, on my particular block, LaSalle Avenue, it's a residential neighborhood. We love our neighborhood. Most of us have been there off and on our entire lives. So you've got
It's beautiful. I've been there.
homeownership that goes back 60 to 70 years.
Sure.
We've had new people come in and buy one house in particular, 16904 LaSalle. It's a two-family flat. It's some folks from out of town that own that building, and they have proceeded to put 4 families in a two-family flat. It's a code violation.
Who's here from BC? Okay, Kim, have you heard this before? Go ahead. Somebody's looked at this? Who knows the answer to this?
Yeah, so
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. So we are looking into it right now with that property to find out if they did have any permits pulled to convert it from a two-family to a 4-family.
Okay, so we haven't started to look at it yet.
To that, for them to convert it to a 2-family to a 4-family, they've got to come back per city charter. They've got to come back to the neighborhood and ask the neighborhood's permission to change the zoning on that side of the street for that house. They have not done that. That house leaks. The young women who lived on the first floor have mold growing on their walls. The young man that lives in the basement has a full wall of mold. It's a fire hazard. It's a death trap because the people that they've moved into the basement and the people that they've moved in the attic have one point of egress. And none of the windows.
I gotta tell you, you've
on that
completely convinced me.
No.
How long have you been looking at this?
I just found out about it today. We will have somebody out.
Okay, we're gonna get on top of this. If they did this improperly, we will come down on them quickly and hard. Go ahead.
I have been screaming and hollering and jumping up on tabletops about this since the house was listed by Zillow in 2022 as multiple unit.
Okay, who did you complain to?
I complained to BSEED, I complained to City Council, I complained to the city.
Okay, so why is this taking so long? Okay, I don't have an excuse for why it's taken this long, but I can tell you, you have my attention now.
Mr. Cardinal, who used to be in charge of BC, on the day before Thanksgiving 2023, he had code enforcement just implode on them. And they shut them down and they moved all the people out. Well, they waited 3 months and they started moving people back into that house, and they've done nothing to correct it. The people that live there cannot park in the back. Why can't they park in the back? Because the garage is going to implode at any point in time.
Okay, so in addition to this, since you're obviously not satisfied with BSEED, I'm going to give you the meanest person in city government. So Rob Shinsky is going to give you his card. And we send Rob in when nobody else gets it done. Rob, stand up, okay? And I want you, if BC doesn't solve this in a week, I want you to call Rob, and I promise you Rob will solve it. All right, go ahead. Okay, who's next? Anybody on the phone?
Yes, sir. This is Eric Cook from District 2, represents Bagley as a business owner and Winship as a block club. He says, how do we initiate getting speed radars on McNichols between Wyoming and Livernois, as well as near or around Peterson Park? Speed deterrent in the form of speed bumps don't seem to be working, and the bike lanes are problematic.
Yeah, we can't put speed humps on McNichols, but we're going to come back to the earlier point, which is our intention is to put another 100 cops on the street in the next few months, and the precinct commanders intend to deploy them as traffic enforcement. And so we all know, we've watched people run red lights, run stop signs, speed on us. The biggest need we have right now is more traffic enforcement cops. And your precinct, right now your commanders are doing what they can with the resources they got. We're going to get them more resources to be able to address that. Okay, I lost track. Over here.
Okay. I'm the founder of Finkel Avenue Business Association, and we also have a nonprofit, the Movement Stop the Violence Detroit. First, I want to give a quick shout out to a team that has been helping us along the way. I want to thank Kim Tandy, I want to thank Sean Davis, Tanisha Turner, and also Katrina Crawley, because they've been helping us do a lot of work in the community. My question is, we just purchased a building. We want to open up a nonprofit where we provide mental health resources for the community, financial literacy, and programs for children. But we've been having problems seeking financing to get the building, rehabbed. So I was wondering, is there anything on a local level that help with nonprofits that's working with community work?
Yeah, you'd have to find a philanthropic organization. So Kresge Foundation, Skillman Foundation. If you have a licensed mental health agency, there's a new director of the Detroit-Wayne County Mental Health Board who can help you. But you're going to have to find the philanthropy that is interested in your particular area.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joshua Lemire, CEO and founder of City of Trees 501c3, and I'd just like to thank Angela Calloway for literally everything. I'm a District 2 defector. Now I'm in District 5 in beautiful LaSalle Gardens. But I just wanted to introduce myself to the community and the mayor and my main man, Keith, here. There is an opportunity that has come up. The city is looking for a comprehensive historic preservation plan, and I want to be a part of that. I would not be 1% of the man I am today without the 140 square miles of Detroit. And the fact of the matter is that there's no money in historical preservation. But I just want to be able to preserve the city that made me, and well, I can probably safely say literally everybody in this room. And it's being funded through HUD and through Joe Biden's Rescue Act, and I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention before. Well, we got about 2.5 months here, give or take.
Is Antoine here? Anybody from planning here? Well, so who's running this program? Go ahead. This is why I love doing this. I learn things.
Yeah,
like
so
this.
Dave Walker, Planning and Development. So if you give me your contact information, we'll connect you with Garrick Landsberg. They're in the process of hiring a consultant now to do the preservation plan. And so then once they hire the consultant, we'll figure out what the engagement strategy is, and we'll see if we can get you a part of it. So give me your contact information, and we'll start to connect you with the preservation planning effort.
All right, good. Okay, anybody else on the phone? All right, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor Duggan. My name is Hazel Flood, Garden Homes Community Organization. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be seen. Most of my questions I've already referred to the resource table regarding blight and all this, and Kim Tandy, Sean, who we always contact. One of the issues, I'm in District 2. I've been here most of my life, but currently I'm living in District 7 with my brother. And the reason why I came here to drive over here is because this is DWSD, Gary Brown, maybe he can answer.
He's around here somewhere. Go ahead.
I was trying to figure out, there's a fire station on Joy Road in Ashton, and the cave, the thing had fell in. It caved in. And they put down the barriers, and it's been there since May. Okay. 8840 Ashton, that's a vacant house they're getting ready to demo it. Right behind the fire station, you probably know what I'm talking about. Okay, they did come the other day, I called on the 30th of October. They just put some new barriers out.
You're saying they're DWSD barriers?
Yes.
Okay.
I would have taken some more pictures today.
Okay, no.
So I mean, I can tomorrow.
I just want to know when they're going to fix it, because when is
We have the address. We will put a steel plate over it tomorrow, and we'll get you a date when it's going to be fixed. Okay. Okay.
I appreciate it. I'll tell
No, thanks for bringing it to
All
us.
right. All right, he's on it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Mayor. I'm here to again encourage you about helping during the budget process to build up the DWSD infrastructure and capacity for taking care of our storm drains and sewers and leaking mains that sometimes have cones sitting on them for too long a period of time. Also, if there's anything that comes out of the new regime in Washington, D.C., where we need organized public support, I'll be looking for messages to find ways that we can engage as many people as possible on behalf of the city. And finally, I would also like to respectfully appeal to you again about the issue I brought up before about the $517 million taken out of our property taxes, and get that information reported as the Constitution requires and on a city website. The material that was sent to me doesn't meet the constitutional standard of accessibility, and me mailing it to me personally doesn't meet the Constitution's requirement that it be made public. So I'm just trying one more time to convince you.
Yeah, the DDA tells me they're following the law. Again, this isn't the city. This is the DDA, a separate board, separate organization, separate meetings, separate rules. It's the DDA's responsibility. I'm told the DDA is in compliance. And I, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Literally every single meeting, every single vote, every single dollar's on the website. I know it's not as simple as you want. Nikhil went and got your documents. He gave them to you. You didn't think that is as simple as you want. It's all there, and we're just going to disagree on this. Okay. All right, go ahead. Oh, Nikhil, you want to answer this again? You've tried 3 times and you haven't succeeded.
So we sent them to you directly because you asked for them, but if you do go to the DEG website, there's a section there that says affiliations, and underneath that section there's a tab that says public authorities. If you click public authorities, you'll see a range of at least 7 to 10 different logos with all the different authority names. You click on that, still all online, and scroll down, there's a section called documents. All the documents, the meeting minutes, the agendas, the audited financials from the DDA's auditor are all right there. So I don't know how else we make it.
And so, Russ, I can tell you that Nikhil is the nicest guy in city government, and I bet if you gave him your phone number, he'd call you up and talk you through it step by step. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we're back to the same thing. He told you it's all there. You admit you found it. You just don't like the way it's being publicized, and that's your right as a citizen to publicize it all you want. Well, I ran it. All I know for sure is you're misinforming them, because I ran into a lady who told me that the school's operating money was being lost to the DDA, and I said, that's complete nonsense. Where did you get that kind of silliness? And she said, some guy named Russ with a beard. So I know for sure you're spreading misinformation, but school operating money does not come out as a result of the DDA. Go ahead. Tell us your name, what neighborhood you're from. Can we get the microphone on?
Glenda McGadney, District 7 with Fred Duhall, and I'm really concerned about the mental illness in our neighborhoods and our communities. Please call 911, and there is a crisis intervention unit that the police will send out along with the social worker. We also have a new program called Behavioral Health Unit that a lot of the precincts are not aware of because it's only been in operation about 2 weeks. And this is Wayne County Probate Court. So please, you can go on the internet and Google Behavioral Health Unit. You can also call Hope Not Handcuffs, 1-833-202-HOPE. That's 1-833-202-HOPE. My neighbor has literally been a prisoner for 4 years because of what's been going on in our neighborhood and not getting the help that we need. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good information. Anybody on the phone?
Yes, sir. You have Miss Deborah Griffin from District 1, Losser and Evergreen. She says, I rehabbed a house at 19426 Graydale. This is a land bank question. She wants to purchase the lot next door. The sidewalks have been replaced, but she does not see that land bank lot listed, and she has sent emails.
Okay, so is anybody here from District 1? Oh, yeah. Okay, so are you aware of this, Carla?
I'm not aware specifically.
Carla
but
is
we
already talking to Tammy Daniels, the land bank director, to solve this. So if you give us your information, Carla's going to call you tomorrow, and we are going to find out what the story is in that side lot and see if you can acquire it. All right, whose turn is it? Go ahead. This side? Go ahead. Tell us your name and what neighborhood you're from.
Hi, my name is Stephen Boyle. I'm in the North Lawn neighborhood down near Fenkell and London, that area. Regarding the ARPA-funded bus shelters and the locations where they've been placed, I believe we had 60 of them that were received. It's interesting how the former shelters have been being removed as opposed to adding more shelters. I'm concerned that, we're not actually expanding the number of shelters by leaving the old ones still up that are still viable, and then finding new locations so that people can find some safety.
Michael, you want to address the shelter strategy?
Yes. This year we're scheduled to do 60 shelters. None of them are being removed. We're doing half of them will be replacements of existing shelters, and half of them will be new shelters. Next year we have 100 shelters that are scheduled to get again either replaced or new shelters.
So I think his question is, if we have 30 old shelters, can we reuse them somewhere, or are they just not usable?
In most cases, they're not reusable, but we do try to, if there are glass work or the structure of the shelter that we can reuse, we will.
Okay. So no, it's our shelter, isn't it?
It should be, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's get
Check
out
on
there
that.
and let's
Yep.
get that fixed, the shelter at Northland Mall. Okay, thank you for that. Go ahead, you got somebody on the phone?
Yes, sir. Luella Pizzuti from Brightmoor in District 1. She says, Mayor Duggan, I've heard you say economic development in the neighborhoods is important to you. So can you please explain why the Detroit Water and Sewage Department refuses to even entertain ideas that would add an economic development component to their GSI projects in Brightmoor? She's spoken to 2 employees at DWSD. She's voiced her disappointment at a charter meeting, and she says she sent emails and has not gotten a response.
So here's one of the interesting things when we have these community meetings. People have differences of opinion. Gary, how many community meetings have you had out there in Brightmoor on this? Go ahead.
We've had more than a dozen meetings with regards to the project in Brightmoor, and 99% of the residents are extremely satisfied with the GIS project. They were engaged in helping to develop what's going on that property, and unfortunately, there are a few people that didn't get what they want, but we try to accommodate everybody.
And this is a reality in every one of our neighborhood planning projects, is you get people on both sides, and when we get the great majority agree to a plan, we move forward, and I think you have to respect the fact that this was the feeling of the great majority of people. Go ahead. I think I'm making the noise.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello, Mayor. My name is Charles Cousin. I live in the Dexter area. I'm from New York, and I'm a child of God, like everyone in here. At the last meeting, someone called in and called us a bunch of N-words. Mayor Mike Duggan, did you get the email that I sent you? I sent you an email. I drafted a lawsuit against the John Doe on behalf of the people of the city of Detroit, because we have to make an example of this person, that racism is not tolerated in this city. So here that is.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how we run down the individual, but as you can see, we took it very seriously and we changed the practice here. Go ahead. No, take your time. You're not in a hurry.
All right. I'm about to say something that you're not going to want to hear, but I got to say it.
You'll be the first one.
If I knew that the CEO of the Detroit Land Bank was a con artist, I would have never bought a house in the city of Detroit. Everybody in this room, Google Tammy Daniels fraud. You'll find federal courts permanently bar Michigan lawyer from promoting tax fraud scheme. I don't know if you saw that. I'm not even done yet.
Okay.
70,000 abandoned buildings in this city.
No, there aren't.
There's only 561 in New York. There should be no homelessness here. And I would just like to talk to you more about solutions to the problems, if I can get that chance.
Yeah, again, you have an outstanding public servant in Tammy Daniels. We started at 47,000 abandoned houses, and we're down to 3,500. Okay. All right.
All right. Here we go.
Okay, well.
Here we go.
All right.
Hello, this is Mr. Mayor. This is Betty A. Varner, president of the DeSoto Ellsworth Block Club Association in District 7, borderline of District 2. Here's a solution. She says, if there is any developers that will be participating in the pilot fast track program, please come and view the area on Finkel between Livernois and Wyoming. We are working with Mayor Duggan's team to improve our area. We have the support of our council member, Fred Durhall. Council member Durhall's office knows how to contact me. We appreciate all that you do, Mayor Duggan. Thank you.
When the new housing project gets built, we are going to name it the Betty Varner Housing Project. All right. All right, whose turn is it? Over here? Go ahead. Tell us your name, what neighborhood you're from.
Hi, my name is Lauren Lincoln. I'm a lifelong Detroiter. I'm currently living in District 5. I'm a researcher with Detroiters for Tax Justice, but my question tonight is about something a little more contemporary. With the recent election of Donald Trump, I'm wondering, how will your administration protect immigrant families from deportation and racial violence?
Again, we lived this once, so this isn't the first time. In the Obama administration, when we had the Syrian refugees, President Obama asked me and the former Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, to be the national spokespeople. And we had 50 Syrian refugee families here. When President Trump was elected, none of them left. In fact, I still have an iftar dinner at my house for those Syrian refugee families every year during Ramadan. So we will do what we always do, which is protect the folks who are here lawfully and stand up for them. We did not have an issue in the last time. We'll see this time. We had, at one point, I don't know if you remember this, but the Cinco de Mayo parades, the first year Trump was in office, they canceled it in Philadelphia because there was fear that they were going to come in and sweep up immigrants. And General John Kelly, who of course now the president doesn't like, he was the Homeland Security officer. He came to my office to see me, and I talked about this, and I said, you are creating fear for people who are here lawfully, and I'm considering following suit with Philadelphia and canceling the parade. And General Kelly gave me his word that if we went forward on the parade, there would be no sweep. We had the parade. It was a great crowd. We had no issues. If we can find people within the administration to work with, we'll work with them. And if we can't, we'll do what we have to do to legally protect our residents. Go ahead.
This is Miss Michelle Vaughn. She's from District 2. She lives on Oakman between Hamilton and Rosa Parks. She said she spoke with Councilwoman Callaway's office, but they did not address the fact that the company will not put me in a hotel. They did put the youth in a hotel. I live from pillar to post. I basically live out of my car. Please help. I did not want to put my actual address in the chat. She gave her email. She says, how do we get in contact
Chelsea?
with Rob Shinsky?
Okay, well, I assume she wants a place to live. Yeah, Rob's in charge of moving people out of the houses.
Right.
Chelsea's in charge of moving people into the houses. So let her know that Chelsea Neblett will call her tomorrow, and we will follow up with the resources. But we got great resources at the Housing Services Department. Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon. William M. Davis, District 7, Aviation Subdivision. As a City of Detroit retiree, and you, as you know, a lot of us have been dying over the last 10 years, especially during COVID. Do you have any plans to perhaps come up with a plan like Councilwoman Mary Waters, where she suggested police, fire, EMS, Homeland Security get a break on their taxes? Something like that would be good for City of Detroit retirees, especially the ones that are still living here and the ones that have moved out. That would help to perhaps do something with our reducing population. Also, separately, I'd like to give you 2 compliments. I know it's rare.
You're having a bad day, man.
I know it's rare. It's rare. I think it was good that you selected Ty Bettison to go back to the police department, at least for the time being. And I think it was good that you selected this young lady to be your deputy mayor. She's an outstanding.
All right. Has everybody met the new deputy mayor, Malia Howard?.. Malia? Here. Here. All right. Has everybody met the new deputy mayor, Malia Howard? Malia? Here. All right. Has everybody met the new deputy mayor, Malia Howard? Malia? Here. Here. All right. Has everybody met the new deputy mayor, Malia Howard? Malia? Here. Here. All right. Has everybody met the new deputy mayor, Malia Howard? Malia? Here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Williams. And I know Andy Mae Holt's coming too. So again, Malia Howard, I started my career here at the city in 2019. I was the District 5 manager for 3.5 years. Prior to that, most grassroots folks know me from doing campaigns and political work and, developing precinct delegates. I have served happily as the major projects manager, working on all of the major developments here in the city. And I was super excited when Mayor Duggan gave me the opportunity to become deputy mayor. So I look to continue to serve you, but also grow in this role. And again, just like I said, you might see me on your doorstep, so you never know. I love doing walk and talks. So we'll see you.
So on Monday, Todd Bettison becomes chief and Malia Howard officially becomes the deputy mayor. Go ahead, tell us your name, what neighborhood you're from.
Good evening, sir. My name is Ronald Foster. I currently live in District 2. A couple of things tonight. I think you guys have been doing a very good job with development. I think it's time that we change perspective and invest more in social conditions. Secondly, I think that you need to have more staff within your district managers. It's an impossible task for a district manager and a deputy to maintain 96,000 residents, so they need to get additional funding. Thirdly, I think that you need to have more funding to the community. I appreciate all the development. We have social conditions that need funding, that need to be addressed. And so I appreciate City Council always having an ear, public comment, to directly hear from the community, to hear the concerns of the community, to hear the grievances of the community. And so I hope that they forward our concerns up and that we get the relief that we're asking for financially and socially. Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, go ahead.
This person says, my name is Kenneth. I'm from Plymouth and Southfield. I believe that's either District 1 or 2. My question is adding security to the DDOT buses to make it safer for all passengers and drivers. And my second question is why inner Detroit residents are qualified for solar panels.
Why what?
Why are inner Detroit residents qualified to have solar panels?
So if you're talking about the individual residents, we are trying to work that out with the state of Michigan right now, and Tricia Stein is fighting for that funding, and I talked to the governor about it last week, but there's a significant amount of money at the state level for individual solar, and I'm trying to get them to basically block grant it to us because I believe we will get it out to our residents faster than anybody. What was the first question again?
They wanted to ask about having security on DDOT
Oh, yeah,
buses.
we've got the Detroit Police Department now has, I don't know, who's here from DPD? Chuck, why don't you talk about what we're doing now, how many cars you got out there, Assistant Chief Chuck Fitzgerald.
Yeah, yes, we took over DDOT July 1 for the public safety portion of it. We've added, we're up to about 26 officers right now, which is about 7 more than they had fully staffed prior. We also do the Jason Hargroves Transit Center and Rosa Parks Transit Center. So we do got to add 12 additional bodies. We're going to take 6 out of the next academy class, so you'll start to see more and more as time goes on. But we are fully invested.
And I'm spending a fair amount of time with our bus drivers. We have a handful of individual riders who frequently come on to the buses and behave in a way that's disruptive and makes the other passengers feel unsafe. A number of cities in this country have a passenger code of conduct where you can't do that. You start with a verbal warning, you get to a written warning. If it continues to escalate, you can be suspended for a couple of days and the like. If we can combine a passenger code of conduct with the kind of Detroit police presence that we're getting now, I think we will get somewhere. And sometime in the next month or so, we're going to be sending that to City Council for their consideration. Okay, Ms. Holt, you're up.
It's on. Oh. Good evening, Mayor Duggan. Thanks so much for your appointment of Melanie Howard for Deputy Mayor. This appointment,
It's okay, keep going.
this appointment is an indicator of how well you truly know and appreciate the professional skills of your staff. I also need to say thank you to DPW Director Ron Brundage for his immediate response to my complaint regarding a negligent cleanup by contractors who had replaced the sidewalks on my streets to Halen in Grandmont Number 1 Improvement Association. I came to one of your mandated charter meetings, Mayor Duggan, and complained. 7 or 8 days later, contractors from DPW were on my streets to Halen, cleaning up the wasted clumps of dried concrete and laying down sod. To the both of you, your service this go round is truly appreciated.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Hope. So Ron is really glad not to have to respond to a citizen. That's good. He's sitting over here with a big smile. Anybody else on the phone? All right, go ahead. Tell us your name, what neighborhood you're from.
Hi, Kevin Ward, District 5. I want to know, how long do you have to maintain a lot before you can own the lot? It's not a city-owned lot or it's not a land bank lot. It's a lot by that guy, Matt Tartarian, or however you say that name. Disability parking downtown.
Wait, hang on, I'm trying to understand. How long do you have to do what?
I've been maintaining a lot on the side of my house for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
No, the guy who owns it never comes over there or anything. So how long can I maintain this lot before I can get this lot?
The adverse possession law has been a while since I've been in law school, but you'd have to have exclusive control, I think, for 14 years.
Okay, 4 more years.
Yeah, yeah. You might want to check with Conrad Mallett, but yeah, you'd have to have exclusive control. On the other hand, have you ever talked to the guy?
It's that guy, Matt Tartarian, or Matt, however you say his
Do we
name.
know him?
You know, the one that got all the lots all over the city. No, Matt Tartarian.
Okay. I don't know what to tell you. You're dealing with a problem a lot of people are dealing with.
I might have the wrong name, but it's the guy that got a lot of lots all over, individual lots in the city. He doesn't maintain them, but nobody can get them.
You say he does maintain them?
No, he
doesn't. He
doesn't.
doesn't maintain them. I tell you what, we're going to give you some free legal help from the former Supreme Court Justice. So, Conrad, why don't we see if we reach out to this guy and see if we can work something out. Are we suing him on some other cases? Okay, see if we're suing him anywhere. Maybe we can work out a deal for the 10-year lot. Go ahead. You had another question.
Disability parking downtown in front of the county building is only like 3 spaces around like a few block radius. Can we do something about that? And the insurance, still high in the city.
Yeah.
I thought we was doing some kind of insurance thing in the city. Whatever happened with that?
What we got was opt out on PIP. That's what we did. And whether you have some coverage that would allow you to opt out, that's the savings.
I opt out and still is high.
Yeah, I know. It's not as bad as it was, but that's what we did, was get PIP choice in place. Okay, but we're going to see if Conrad can get you that lot. And if he does, come back and tell us what a good lawyer he is. Okay, anybody else over here? Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone, and Mayor Duggan. My name is Teresa Williams. I'm a resident of District 7, and I'm a realtor. And I had a couple questions about the land bank. Oftentimes I put in offers for properties on the land bank for clients, and we don't get any response, or it takes, you continue to watch the property and it's on there for 100 days, 200 days.
When you say you put in an offer, are you bidding in an auction? Are you bidding on Own It Now?
It's not an auction, it's listed online in the MLS.
But when you say MLS?
Multiple listing services, other realtors in here?
Go ahead, Tammy.
She's talking about our marketed property.
Okay, so what? So go ahead. What's going on with that?
So they are supposed to be listed for a certain amount of time so that multiple people can put offers in. But I would like to talk to you to find out. You said extensive amounts of time. I would need to talk to you to get the details of that, and we can give you some answers about those properties.
We do have it for some period, because I don't ever want to be in a situation where somebody has some inside information and the day something's posted, they immediately snap it up and I find out it's somebody's brother-in-law. So we create window periods, but it sounds like our window periods may be too long. Go ahead, what else do you have?
Okay, so the other thing is HUD has a process. When their homes come up for auction, they reserve those for a period of time for resident owners. I think it may be 30 days. I'm wondering, is there something that can be done like that for the residents of the citizens of Wayne County, like Detroit, of course, during the Wayne County auction? Could there be a period of time reserved for residents, because we have a lot of little small resident developers, you know, that own property or want to enhance their properties? Is there a chance that something like that could be set up for the Wayne County auction where a period of time is reserved for the residents? Because we live near the properties, we see them every day, and you know, I've witnessed this hundreds and hundreds of properties.
So that's something you would have to take up with Eric Sabre, the treasurer. Now, he's governed by pretty specific state law. Whether he's got the flexibility or not to do that, I just don't know. But that would be a decision of Treasurer Sabre. All right, we're going to see what we can do about those window periods. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Roz Haskins. I live in District 2 and a proud Bagley resident. I'm just here to say thank you to Sean Davis and Kim Tandy for all they do and their staff. My homeowners association had an issue with the community lot, and I reached out to Kim Tandy, and she was able to assist us and point us in the right direction. Everything's run smoothly. I also want to say thank you to Kim Tandy to putting my name in as to be a Detroit ambassador. Is something that was ran by the Dons, and it was a great program. It lets you know the ins and outs, the workings of the cities. We know nothing's perfect, but it lets you know how things work.
Tell people what you did. How many training sessions did you sit through?
It was weeks of training sessions. It was great because we went down to the police station. We saw the background workings of all the different cameras. We had people from the fire department come, BC. We just learned basically the interactions of the city, because people wanted to point the finger and complain, but being an ambassador, it pointed us the direction of who to see if we had a complaint and how to get it resolved. Again, it doesn't always happen as quickly as you like, but there's a process.
Thank you for that. So somebody mentioned before, that's a lot of area for 2 district managers to cover. And so what Ray Solomon has done is set up this ambassador program, and we have activists in the neighborhood. Usually the person you go to like always knows stuff, and we actually put them through the formal several-month training program. We have a big dinner at the end and celebrate your graduation. But thank you, Madam Ambassador. Go ahead.
My name is Tracy Stevenson. I live in Russellwood Sullivan Area Association. And you helped me a lot because you were at one of the meetings and I had an issue and you told me what to do, and they're working on it right now. I just want to say thank you for that.
I'm glad to hear it.
And everything you do. And now I just have a couple of statements. How about no property taxes after 65? Yeah. Adverse possession is 15 years, but you need to get an attorney.
15 years? It's been a long time since I was in law school.
That's
right,
okay.
I was close.
I need the attorney Conrad's information too, because I got another situation going on. And the insurance with the cars is redlining. It's crazy. My daughter lives in Macomb and she pays like $100, and I live here and it's like $180. It's insane. And Detroit Water and Sewage. They came out last year, tore up the front lawns, didn't plant the grass properly, and part of the lawns are green, and it's horrible. I had a water pressure problem.
Wait. Did it get fixed?
No.
Oh, well, Carrie, get up. Come on.
Oh, yay. No, I had I had a water pressure problem in my home, and it acts like it can't be a first time for that to happen. I told them 2 years ago when DTE was out there, you could see the men in the ground. They were 6 feet under. You could barely see the top of their heads. But when they finished the house across the street that takes up 5 lots, the water pressure came back. Everything was fine. This time, The water pressure was low. It didn't come back for like 2 or 3 months. And the toilet was running all night long. I had the plumber come out, had to pay him $75. It didn't stop. I talked to 3 people. The last person was Miss Bell. She said, well, I can't give you a credit for that because we don't have proof. And it went through the meter. I said, lady, I know it went through the meter. The toilet was running. But it was a situation with them digging into the ground. And when they finished about 2 or 3 months later, it finally started acting right last month. Now, when you get done, I got 2 more.
Okay. So Gary is looking forward to you coming back at the next meeting and say he fixed it. Go ahead.
Okay, the police officers in our area, especially the neighborhood police officers, they do the best they can with the law provides them, because they have told me several times, Tracy, you can't do that. I say, I'm going to jail. You better bring me Chinese food. That's all I can say. I'm going.
No, listen to the officers.
Huh?
Listen to the officers. They're giving you good advice.
I'm trying to, but I got a neighbor from hell. She keeps coming on my property, moving my things, and then I go and put them back, and she moves them again. And she said, you better stay off my property. I said, your property ends here. I have a survey. Go get your own. They tried to convince me to give my survey. Let her see it. I go, she is wrong. Okay. It's 2 left feet. But anyway, that's it for her, and that's it for that, and that's it for that. And the last thing is, when you help me with the situation with my 0% loan, $25,000, 10 years, no interest, everything's going fine. You got people working with me now. I appreciate it. It's just one thing that's POing me.
Okay.
I do not want a 3rd lead inspection risk assessment, but they say I have to have one. I don't know if any of you guys have had that.
Andy, did you fix this? Go ahead. Sure. So, wait. Who was your sponsor of that ordinance?
Councilwoman Mary Waters.
Mary Waters.
She said she couldn't stand up.
You're going to... Okay, I'm being... Okay. Unfortunately, there's one more person whose approval you need. Julie Schneider says we may have used HUD money. Right, and she says this may fall under a different rule, and you may not want to hug her just yet. Okay, Julie is going to follow up on the rule. Mary solved 95% of this.
I tried to keep myself from calling you, but I'm calling you now. It's been 6 years with this crazy same loan. They have not put in a thumbtack. Sorry, Jesus. But they have not put in a thumbtack. And the guys that are working with me now, I had Alexia, Ray, Rico, they all been fabulous. But I said, I don't want to do this again. The first time they were in my home, 8 hours. The ceiling, the wall, the floors.
Got the idea. It appears that more of my staff is working for you than is working for me. But we're going to keep going until we get it all right. Julie, let's see if we can help find a solution. All right, thank you all very much for coming out. You have a great night.